Okay guys, so in this video we are going to understand what is POM XML, Project Object Model. POM stands for Project Object Model, right? So I'll just write it here, Project Object Model. Now what is this file all about? Let's understand. Now we have already created one Maven project, so which the build life cycle of which we are automating. So in this folder I have my Maven project, and this is where my POM XML is. So you in your Maven projects directory, along with these directories, you will find one file POM XML. So let me open it and let's understand what does it contain. So this POM XML is basically the project's definition file. It also implements the project's build life cycle. We will talk about what is build life cycle and what I mean by automate. But first understand this part, this group ID, artifact ID, and this is the information about your project. So the group ID of your project is like every Maven project gets identified, uniquely identified, I should say, uniquely identified with three parameters: group ID, which usually indicates the owner of the project; artifact ID, which indicates the name of the project; and this is the version. So let's say I'm working on the version 1.0 of this project, of this calculator API, where we have added the addition function, right? And this is the name of like when we will package the jar file. This is the packaging. Packaging means in which format you want to create the library of this project, like whether WAR is for archiving the web applications, EAR for archiving the EJB applications, JAR for archiving the simple Java projects, right? So I want to archive this library in the form of JAR. So that is what is this says, this setting. The version is 1.0. The name with which the jar file would be created is mentioned here, calculator API. Now this POM file you get created once you create the Maven project, either through the command line command, this mvn command, or like with the help of the Eclipse plugin. So this command we use to create it, right? So that after you create the project, you get the POM XML. Now let's understand this. Now what this is, so this defines that like what should be the encoding of your compilation. Like if you have in your program, if you have any non-English characters like Japanese characters or Chinese characters as a part of your your Java source code file, right? These strings are mentioned, then the unique encoding of that file gets set to the UTF-8 or Unicode encoding. These are the encodings for the non-English characters. Now if you want the Maven, like while compiling your program, if you want the encoding to be set to other than ANSI, ANSI is for the English characters and Unicode UTF-8 for the non-English characters. So if you have any non-English characters, right, in your program and you want to compile them fine, in such case the source code should be compiled fine, then you should set the encoding to UTF-8. Then what is this? The compiler, source, and target means the which JDK version you want Maven to use while compiling. Okay, these are few settings we have mentioned here. Coming to this point now, what is this dependencies? So dependencies means like what are the third-party libs your project needs. So like whatever kind of implementations you have done in your project, so have you used any other classes than available in Java libraries? So those classes in whichever libraries they are written and they are included, so those libraries you will mention in the dependency tag. So in short, your project depends on these third-party libraries. So I have Apache POI. So in this dependencies tag, you mention your multiple dependencies of your project, right? And every dependency contains the details like what is the group ID of that dependency, what is the artifact ID, that is the name of that project, and which version, which specific version you want to be used for your project, or which specific version your project depends on of that dependency, right? Here also I have one more dependency, TestNG dependency. I am using a TestNG unit testing framework to get the unit test cases executed. So this is again one of the dependency. So these are the dependencies. Now let's come to this very important part, build. You can see the build life cycle. The build life cycle means the end-to-end phases of any application. Like once you are done with the downloading these dependencies, so Maven will download these dependencies from the artifact repository like mvnrepository.com. So you can configure, like by default Maven goes to this to get the dependencies downloaded, but you can configure Maven to go to other other artifact repositories like Nexus and all as well, right? So Maven, once it will go there, it will download the dependencies first. So Maven first does this thing, that downloading of the dependencies, required dependencies. Otherwise, unless those dependencies are downloaded and added to the class path of your project, Maven cannot go ahead with the compilation. We will get error cannot find symbol, right, in the compilation. So Maven first downloads the dependencies. Where it downloads from, by default it goes to the Maven repository to download them. And where it downloads, so by default Maven downloads the dependencies in your local repository maintained at default path. That default path is your current user. In that you will find .m2 folder, and in that .m2 folder you will find the repository, and in that repository folder you will find the dependencies downloaded. Now you can change the location of it, which we have already discussed, by specifying the settings XML file. In that settings XML, you can define the other location. If you want the repository to be created at the other location, you can mention it in the settings XML. In this tag local repository, you can mention the location where you want to create the local repository, and then Maven will download everything over there. So I have my local repository here, Maven repo. This is the folder which I have mentioned as my local repository, because I didn't want to clutter my C colon because of these downloadings, right? So Maven does it for it, does this first. But how does the Maven performs all these operations? So Maven uses different plugins. Okay, what is plugin? Plugin is a small wrapper written over the commands. Now what commands? So in compilation of Java, we use javac command, right? So javac space -cp, then space, we provide the directory path, space, then we provide the path of the Java file to be compiled, right? So this command javac we use for compiling, right? So this is the javac compiler we use. But in order to use it, javac and all, we should be very well versed with the command and what does the argument set text and all, right? So Maven has different wrappers written on these commands, and those wrappers are nothing but the plugins, right? So every task which Maven performs, so whether the task is of downloading the jar files from remote repository to the local one, if the task is of compilation, triggering the unit testing, packaging, deploying, so all these tasks, what we use Maven for, all these tasks are performed using the plugins. Okay, so what is the flow of these tasks Maven maintains? The flow. So what is the flow Maven maintains? So first, what it does, it cleans the project. Cleans means whatever the compilation files are already present in your project, it first deletes them all. Cleaning, it is called cleaning. So when you compile your project, you get, I'll show you where you get your class files created. So here, this is my project. Okay, when the compilation happens, in the target folder, we get, in the classes folder, we get our applications class file created. In test classes folder, we get our test class compiled and dot class file gets put in there. And the jar file packaging will create the jar file of our application, that will also put here. So clean phase will clean this directory, output directory. So Maven starts its working by cleaning everything, so that everything would be clean before it starts its work, right? So this is what the clean phase is. So how the Maven performs the clean phase? Using this clean plugin. You can see in the build lifecycle, this is the build lifecycle automated here or mentioned here. So it runs the plugins in the order now. So first it runs the Maven clean plugin and it runs the clean phase, which deletes this target folder. Okay, next what it does, it downloads the required dependencies from the configured artifact repository. If not configured, the default one will be maven.com, right? So it will download the required dependencies by reading your dependency tag. So every dependency it will read, it will locate on the remote repository and it will download this dependency along with whatever the dependencies this particular dependency has. So everything would be downloaded and kept in your local repository. Now I'll show you how does it keep it there. So my local repository is dmaven repo. So this is where my local repository is kept. Now you can see here the group ID of this testng dependency is org.testng. So here you will first find one folder called org. Inside that testng. Inside that you will find one more testng folder, right? So org.testng is the group ID. So first org.testng, this directory structure is for group ID. Then the next testng is for, this one is for artifact ID. Then you will find the version folder 7.3.0 and then you will find that jar file there. So when the dependencies get downloaded, they don't get put flat into this repository. The directory structure corresponding to their group IDs, artifact IDs and version get created and then the jar files get put in there. So who does this task? So this task is being done by this resources plugin which does it, right? Then next phase, what is the next phase? So I just mentioned it here. First is clean, downloading dependencies required, right? Then next is compilation. So it compiles your code, compilation. So who does the compilation phase? This is the compiler plugin, which internally uses JavaC commands only, guys. But just we have got one wrapper, the compiler plugin. So it performs that task, compilation. Next, what it does, it triggers the unit testing. So who does that unit testing triggering? This Surefire plugin. So this Surefire plugin triggers the unit testing. So the next phase is unit testing, right? So next phase is unit testing. So the Surefire plugin does it. Then packaging. So packaging is being done by this plugin. So what does this plugin packaging does? So it creates the jar file. We will see it, right? And then install or deploy. That is the release phase. Like you will, once the package is created, you will, let's say, deploy it on some kind of a remote repository so that your users can use them, right? So this is the last phase of the build life cycle, that is install or deploy. Install or deploy. Okay, now let's run the different phases, guys. Now let's run the different phases. I'll show you the result of each phase. Now CLS, I am inside the project directories directory now. This is where my project directory is. I'll take you there first before I start executing. So in D:, here I have my project calculator API. This is the POM XML, and you should be running the Maven commands from your project directory always. So mvn clean. So I'll do mvn clean. So first Maven will download the plugin required, as I don't have it right now. So it will download the plugin into the local repository and then it will run that plugin. So the result of which is the target directory would be deleted. Okay. Next, mvn compile. So what this will do, Maven will first trigger the resources plugin. Okay. It will first trigger the resources plugin. It will download the resources and then the compilation would be done. And you can see the target folder got created again. Inside the target folder in classes, you will find the package directory and your class files, compiled class file is created, right? Then generate in this, like you have got other resources and all contained. Now next, once we are done with the compilation, I will say mvn test. So what does it do? It first compiles the test classes. Again the compilation would be done, but the compilation of test classes, unit test classes would be done. So that is the compilation of this class is done, src test java, and here we have our unit test cases, right? So this will be compiled and then Surefire plugin will start, right? So each phase, execution of each phase can be triggered by running the commands. And when you run the command mvn compile, so Maven knows like for this which plugin it has got which will do this task. So that compiler plugin which I had shown you in our POM XML. So when you say mvn clean, Maven knows that to run this plugin which does the task. Then mvn compile you say, so first it runs this resources plugin, it downloads the required things and the compilation is done, right? So for every command Maven knows which plugin to run and get that task done, right? So mvn test, so when I'll say mvn test, so it will do this Surefire. So Surefire plugin will be executed and my unit test cases would be executed. So my unit test cases would be executed and I'll get my report. I'll show you calculator API in the target. In this Surefire reports, you will find the report of your unit test cases. So this is the report I have got of my unit test cases. I'll just show you that. So this is what I have got. I have got 2 test cases. So this got executed with the help of testng. So testng is what we have triggered, right? So we have configured the testng, right? So testng would be executed and then I'll say mvn package. So as soon as I say mvn package, the Maven will run this Maven jar plugin. If it is not there, it will be downloaded. The jar plugin itself would be downloaded and the jar file would be created, right? So you can see the jar file created. You will find the jar file in this target folder again. So you can check here the version 1.0 where it came from. The version came from this version. You can see the version is this one, version, right? So that is what packaging is. So our library is working fine. Unit testing is done. We are fine with the creation of the library, the package, the jar file. Now this jar file would be released. Released means either I will install it into the local repository so that the fellow developers who are in need of it can get it, or I'll deploy it to the central repository if I have configured one. But right now I'll just release it into the mvn install is for releasing it into the local repository. So when I say mvn install, you can see the Maven runs the compiler. It runs this plugin, install plugin, and it installs the library. So where does it install? In the local repository. Now my local repository is here, Maven repo. And how does it install? It doesn't keep it flat here, right? I'll show you where it has installed it. So it has installed it in our group ID folder. We have a group ID folder. So here is our group ID folder. Inside that, the artifact ID folder, calculator API. Inside that, the version folder 1.0, and inside that the jar is installed. Right. One more very important point: when you run any Maven phase, let's say MVN, for example, install, say. So Maven doesn't run only this phase. It runs all the prerequisite phases. Like even if you don't mention Maven to run these phases separately, the ones which we saw right now, but Maven runs all those phases. So it doesn't only package, it cleans, it compiles, it downloads, it cleans, it downloads, it compiles, it runs the unit test cases, and if all the phases are fine, then previous phases are fine, then it goes with the phase we have asked it to run, right? So the packaging would be done, then installation. So Maven, when we ask Maven to run any phase, Maven by default runs its all prerequisite phases and then runs the end phase. This is how Maven works, and that is what the POM XML is all about.